Yeah, well, I mean, I guess, like, in the Vietnamese culture, there's kind of, like, the same thing where parents are a lot stricter. I mean, there's, like, a lot of double standard in the Vietnamese culture, and I think that's true of, like, a lot of Asian cultures.
What do you mean double standard?
Like, boys are allowed to stay out late, they're allowed to go out, but girls aren't given that, like, that same privilege. So, like, I remember when I was, I was, like, 19, and I wanted to go on a trip with Lloyd.
Yeah.
And then mom was like, no, like, you're crazy, no. And, that was already, like, the summer of my freshman year in college or whatever. Yeah, and then I was like, well, my brother got to go when he was 19. And then, she was like, well, your brother's different. He can't get pregnant. So I'm like, but he can get a girl pregnant. Like, how is this, like, how are we having this conversation right now?
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's things like that. But I guess, like, in relation to health, like, Asians are also a lot stricter in regards to health. So, like, for example, if you have a sore throat, in the U.S., you're just like, there's like, drink fluids, drink as many fluids as you can. But, like, if you're in Vietnam, they, like, don't drink any cold fluids because it'll make your throat worse. Just drink hot fluids. And, like, I guess that's somewhat true, but not necessarily, And, like, for example, in Vietnam, after a woman has her baby, she's not allowed to, like, leave the house for, like, a month. She's not allowed to, like, shower for a month. She can only, like...
It's, like, dirty.
Yeah, she can only, like, clean herself because she's supposed to stay warm for, like, the baby.
Did that, like, transfer over to the United States? Does that still happen here or not really?
Not really. I mean, I would say, like, a little bit. Like, a lot of people try to keep the tradition, but it's just a lot harder here because, people have to go to work. Yeah, people have to go to work, and nobody likes to not bathe for a month.
There's little things like that.
Right, little things like that.
So it didn't really carry over to the U.S. At all.
I don't know. Like, for example, Loy's sister, she had 4 kids, right? So, like, the first kid, she's like, yeah, I was able to stay in for, like, 3 weeks. And the second kid's like, yeah, I was, like, 2 weeks. The third kid, yeah, 1 week, So it changes.
Yeah. Something that was interesting also, one of the people we visited yesterday, he was Afghan. He was like, well, culture changes, and we want to keep the good things, the good Afghan things, and we want to learn the good American things.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess in that way, with that, it's kind of similar.
Yeah, I agree. Cultures change, people change.
Yeah. But
there's, like, a lot of restrictions. Like, for example, like, after you get surgery, you shouldn't eat any beef or any seafood because they say that it causes your scarring to, like, stay more. Whereas, like, if you see things like chicken and pork, your scar will, like, heal faster and you won't get the scar necessarily, So, like, after I got my foot surgery, my mom was like, no seafood for you, no beef for you. And it's like, but my doctor didn't say anything. Like, my doctor said I could eat whatever.
yeah.
So, there's things like that. But
I wonder if is there any, like, science to back that up at all?
I don't know. I mean, in a lot of cultures, I don't think there's any science that backs up.
But sometimes it's true.
Right, sometimes it's true. I mean, I don't think anyone's ever, like, done the study.
Yeah.
But, like, in regards to like, what I said with the pregnancy thing, like, where women have to, like, stay in for a month, they have to, like, take certain measures to take care of their body. And, like, I was like, I don't see why that's true. I was like, a lot of American women have, like, a stronger immune system than Vietnamese women do. So I was like, I don't think that's true. But then, like, the adults are telling me, they're like, well, yeah, maybe at that moment, but, like, look at them when they're older. Like, you see, like, a lot of older Asian women, they still look, like, whereas, we don't wear, I don't know, we don't wear out as much. I don't know, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see with you, right?
Yeah,
Because you're,
we'll
like,
see.
first generation.
Yeah.
But, no, it's true, your mom looks good.
Right, it's like, I don't
Go for it.
So, like, for example, I think being in America, I think sometimes has a lot of, like, negative health effects as well on, people who aren't necessarily from the culture. So, for example, like, for some reason, like, everybody in America gets cramps, right? So my cramps are, like, awful. But no one in Vietnam has cramps.
No?
No. Like, none of my family has cramps. And it's just, like, little things like that where you really have to, like, wonder, like...
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious.
Are you sure it's
I'm
not
sure.
just... That's weird.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like, my mom's just, like, one time she got cramps once. And she thought I had to go to the emergency room. And I'm like, Mom, I experience that every single month.
Yeah. That's really, really strange.
Right, and then remember how we talked about, I think in HMHV, where it was like after immigrants come from Mexico, like the first generation is always unhealthier than the older generation.